on the right side pin.
Meanwhile, the only setter on offense for Virginia Tech at the service line in the Utah transfer Victoria Walgren, as she pumps one long to get us off and running. The purple regalia outfits here this afternoon as the Texas Tech transfer Kate Hansen had a perfect 5-kill, 0-error performance on Friday. And the veteran libero in Devin Taylor will serve, leading by 1. Out of system and a free ball given by the upstart freshman in Bell Patrick, as Yoki has to punch one. Is there a touch? No touch off the back row, and Virginia Tech already asking their coach for a challenge. We'll see if she takes a risk. Does not seem so. It's 2-0.
Yes, and again, they're gonna look for Pierce even in the back row. She's a strong hitter, so we can expect to see a lot more of her getting some attacks.
Patrick on the give and go, and a firecracker right arm from the freshman at a carry gets Virginia Tech on the scoreboard.
Patrick, what a heavy arm. And you know, that zone 5 shot is such a tough shot, but it was a great set. It was still quick enough. She can really get nice on top of that ball.
We have 2 sterling freshman servers. We talked about Yoki. Now we get to see the top spin serve from Patrick. And a couple service errors plague the Hokies early. Is there a difference in serving during the daytime versus at night?
Absolutely, I think so. We talked about that high energy. We also have to realize that these 2 teams are really going to go after each other on that service line. They're going to force each other to make those tough passes to get them out of system.
22 aces already this season for Yoki. Terrific pass sets things up on the right side as Sarah Malinowski gets her first start in a few weeks. Leandra Mangual-Duran, the libero in black for Virginia Tech. As McGrath gets it outside her grasp, and that's the heartbeat player of this Clemson offense.
McGrath, she's the only player for the Tigers that plays in all 6 rotations, which means you're going to see her on the court the entire time. She's that big leader for the Tigers, and again, she's not afraid to swing on some high hands.
Nea Maria out of Tampere, Finland. Part of the Finland national team from the age of 13 up until 17 when she made the trek across the Great Ocean. As this touch from the left pin off the antenna by Haley Pierce, not the smoothest of starts for the Hokies.
No, it's not. And Pierce, she's trying to be a little tricky on the outside. She's going to try to give the Tigers some different shots to try to get their defense waiting back on their heels moving forward. It just didn't work that time for her.
Talking to Coach Keir, she mentioned they just need 1 set win to get the confidence flowing. Strong dig by Taylor, set out to McGrath. Clemson is going after Walgren, but the out-of-system ball works, and a side out for Vatek.
And that's a great swing by Malinowski. Again, she's looking for those deep corners. Those are tough to defend. We also had Yoki on the right back, and that's not a usual position for her because she's stuck back there after her serve. So that was a great decision.
It's the 6th conference match for Virginia Tech and their 6th lineup that they've produced as Pierce has moved from the right side to the left side to give way for Malinowski. As our first middle swing comes from Robinson. McGrath looking for high hands, and Virginia Tech has a service run here early.
Yes, that was a great run by the Tigers with Yoki's serve, and now we're going to look to see Virginia Tech kind of do the same thing on their end. They've got a great server right back here in Duran, and so you're going to look for them to really go tough at the Tigers.
Instead, it's the 3rd Virginia Tech service error, as Clemson has been the benefactor of a few free points. And a fun story for Leandra Mangual-Duran. She was a swinger outside, a 6 rotation hitter, transfer from Mizzou, where she did not play libero at all, and she took over in mid-September as the bro. As a tough pass has Kate Hansen demolishing.
Hansen was ready for that. Coach Keir's been telling her defense we need to stay really, really disciplined on the net. You can see Hansen, she's waiting for that overpass and was able to put it away with ease.
Swing by Pierce, blocked by Hansen, and Clemson is all over things at the net.
And what a great adjustment by the Tigers. They were waiting for the Hokies to go to Pierce, and they were able to just stuff her right down.
Timeout called by Virginia Tech, and we will take one with them as the Tigers looking for their first conference win, off to a tremendous start. Conference season, maybe in ACC history already, 7 total matches against top 50 teams, losses to Pitt, SMU, Louisville, Virginia, and now a chance to breathe here against a team in Virginia Tech that is certainly struggling as of late, as the slide successful for Hansen and Clemson on a 4-0 run.
Great slide by Hansen. You know, we haven't really seen much of her running that slide, but I love that decision by Sant. I think it was taking the Virginia Tech defense a little off guard, and they weren't able to set up for that.
Out of system now to Pierce. Good cover by Duran. And she'll scramble to get it back. Sant tries to take advantage, and a recycle there. I don't think Kate Hansen has ever taken a swing from that angle. Daly from the left, and Clemson moves around the offense, and it works out.
I love that. Sant has been really smart right now as a front row setter. They'd gotten to Hansen pretty early, so that gave Daly that open opportunity on the outside for a more one-on-one opportunity.
You can see Asia Daly, who struggled to score, did not get her first kill until the 3rd set against Virginia on Friday. Means a lot to score early in this sport. As a touch at the net leads to a net violation on offense as Virginia Tech goes to the bench, brings Ella Beyer out for the second left side, and she creates the infraction. It has been all Tigers here through 14 points as McGrath serves again. Quick to the middle, and Jasmine Robinson creates a net violation from Clemson. So a kill for the redshirt junior middle out of Chesapeake, Virginia, and a side out as well.
I love that decision for the Hokies to try to, again, establish their middles right now early. Clemson's done a great job blocking, so they're probably trying to work on some more one-on-one hitter-blocker opportunities to score those points.
Into the net, and the service errors tallying up. That is the 4th already for Virginia Tech.
Daniel, we talked about this earlier in the match. Both teams are going to look to serve more aggressive, but that also means more service errors. So at this point, got to kind of make a decision whether we still want to keep serving aggressive or just get these serves in.
In comes the freshman from Wisconsin and Claire Luma. Luma and Addie Raines, who we've seen already in right back defense, have been standouts. A defensive specialist position as attack error number 5 helps aid this service run. Virginia Tech has 5 attack errors, 4 service errors through the first 17 points.
And you see that a lot, especially when you're playing against some tough blocking teams. Hitters are starting to get a little bit worried about getting blocked again, so they're just trying to keep that ball in high, hit hands, do something different.
In system to Sant, Indigo Young has the touch from Daly ruled a lift on that cover attempt. So another infraction as a ball handling error plagues Clemson. And we'll take a look at this one. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's below the shoulder, hands open. That's a really tough judgment call. Unfortunately, I would not want to be the up ref making that decision right there.
We've got Del Rosa Hughes up top with Suzanne Dodd down below, and now those service errors paying off as an aggressive serve gives Pierce the ace.
You know, when Pierce, she also has a great float serve. She's long, she's lengthy, she's got that high contact point. She can really get that ball moving.
8th ace of the season for the sophomore. Spent most of last season injured, did Pierce. As cross court from Daly, picked up by Durant. Sant able to pick up the kill, her first here this weekend.
Sant, she is playing like a veteran today. You see Coach Kerr, she's mixed up her lineup just a little bit. You see Daly swinging more on the outside right now because they're keeping Sant as that front row setter. And she saw that early opportunity to score in the second.
Sant takes it to the service line. We're out of system to Belpatrick to tool the block, and Virginia Tech's starting to get a little bit more chemistry going to the outside.
They are. You can tell on the sidelines, the bench, they're really trying to get the team going. They're talking a lot more. They're going to try to hit those high hands instead of staying low on the tape and avoiding that block.
So that'll bring in Jordan Holman, the second middle up to the front row with Robinson serving. as Yoki swings around to the left side, and Clemson's doing things we have not seen this year with both Daly and Yoki on the floor at once.
Yes, and I love that Coach Gear, she's taking this risk. She's mixing it up the lineups a little bit more. Maybe they practiced this yesterday, but it's really paying off because it's taking Virginia Tech out of their defense.
So in comes the sophomore from Texas and McKenna Gildon. Good aggressive take there by Taylor, out to Yoki. She can do it from both ends.
Yoki, that is an amazing swing. And that's really her spot right there. You know, she's right in between that back row setter and that off blocker, and they're having a hard time communicating who gets that ball. It's a great, great swing from her.
Tigers hitting up over 300. Clicking on all cylinders as Walgren gets over aggressive. The dump into the net, and a 10-point lead leads to another Hokie timeout.
Yes, I love that setters, you know, sometimes if they're not depending on their hit.
Seconds would be the non-media timeouts, and you have to wonder what that might mean to restore a little bit of energy later in the afternoon. In system this time to Patrick, and she goes right after Yoki. A little height advantage there for Bell Patrick.
Yes, and Patrick, she's able to get up high, really hit those hands. You can tell she was trying to probably go down the line a little bit. You know, that nice cross body swing, was able to hit those hands on Yoki. That was a great choice for her.
Back to rotation one for the Hokies. Gonna climb a mountain as Indigo Young, the transfer from Charleston Southern, gets on the scorebook.
Young, she's so bouncy. Look how she just elevates off the floor. They're able to find her. It was a very fast offensive set. She's able to put that ball away. I love that shot.
Young at just 6 foot, a bit undersized, but she'll make up for it with her hops. As Taylor set to serve, and Clemson commits their first service error. 18-9 the score if you're just joining us. Still getting started here in set one between a couple ACC teams trying to turn their season around. Another good ACC matchup would be the inverse of this weekend. The teams we saw on Friday face off as Georgia Tech hosts Virginia. Georgia Tech will come here on Friday after Clemson travels to Atlanta on Wednesday. A big week coming up for the Tigers as McGrath from the left pin gets some help from the tape. Clemson up by 10.
Very smooth swing by McGrath. You know, is that consistent player. Coach Gear talks about her just being that steady, consistent outside, and that was a great swing.
Now we get to see that high float from Yoki. Terrific pass by Sierra Cates. And transition offense as McGrath is blocked. Big block up there from the Hokies as Sarah Malinowski adds in.
Malinowski, she was waiting for that. She's on an island all on her own. She was able to get set and press over with those high hands, and there really was no place for the Tigers to go.
6'3" junior from Virginia. Slide for Hansen. Such added explosiveness off that 1 foot.
Yes, and again, this is something that we haven't really seen from Hansen, especially in Friday's match. I love that they're using her behind the setter. You know, it's making Virginia Tech's middle make a decision which pin she's going to cover.
5 points away from this opening set and the first set win of conference play. But that's a firecracker swing. Malinowski starting to heat up at the right pin.
Yes, Malinowski, she's got such a fast arm swing, heavy hand. She's not afraid of the block. She's gonna swing. There is that little bit of seam, and she was able to turn her hips and find it and hit that cross-court shot.
So off the bench comes Aisha Carrick, a freshman from South Florida. 15 aces this season for Carrick, and albeit limited playing time. Pierce with a tip, handled by McGrath. Daly's been rotating all over the floor. There's a height mismatch over at that pin, and Daly takes advantage.
She sure did. She was ready for that. You can see how quickly she's able to transition off the net. She noticed that the smaller blocker is on that outside. She's able to take it down the line, and that was a great point for her.
2 early kills for the senior out of Florida in Daly. As Luma, the #1 defensive specialist prospect out of Wisconsin, picks up a terrific dig in left back. How about a second one from Luma? Beautiful digs all over the floor in purple. But the back row swing a little extra cheeky, and Virginia Tech within 9.
That was tough. It was a great recovery by the Tigers. Daly had to come in and pass that short ball, so it really took her out of the offense. I think McGrath, she just wasn't ready for that back row attack. Tried to be a little tricky instead of just keeping that ball in play.
1 point at a time for the Hokies, trying to get back within striking range. Terrific dig back by Carrick. Wow, what a deke in the back middle, but McGrath called for a touch somewhere on that play, gives Jasmine Robinson the kill. Let's see if we can find it.
Yeah, that was amazing. Look at that hang time. She was set a little bit high. You can see the Tigers, they were almost going up with that setter. Did see a small touch on that.
Yeah, the touch was up at the net. McGrath seemingly got out of the way. Sant trying to be a little bit more aggressive today, playing in the front row as well. Don't you see that from Clemson's usual 6-2 offense? We're just seeing a 5-1 today as the Tigers want to call a timeout. Let's identify that. We haven't seen Audrey. A lot more flow, a lot more chemistry to build in a 5-1 offense without substitution issues, as Daly, handled by Walgren, recycled right back to her at the left pin, and she blasts it wide.
That was a really tight set for Daly. You can tell what she was trying to do once she realized it was a tight set. She was going up, trying to look for that right hand of that outside blocker and get a tool, but she missed wide.
It's a 4-0 scoring run for the Hokies. They've done exactly what they wanted to do and put a scare into this lopsided set. That finds the back line from Daly, and Coach Byers heavily considering using a challenge here. Let's look at it.
What a veteran play by Daly. She realized, she missed on that last shot. She was trying to take it deep line. Looks like it could have gotten the line. That was a really hard angle to see from, but that was a very smart play.
Yeah, Marcy Byers not budging, does not want to use that challenge. You've got 2 for the match. If you win it, you keep it. And an ace from Sant, her second here this weekend, and 8th of the season.
That ball dropped like no other. I don't think the Hokies was ready for that. We're back there, they're looking for that harder hit serve. That serve just dropped so quick.
So 2 points away from this opening set, and a monster off the back as Belle Patrick stays involved. Her 4 kills lead all scorers.
Patrick, she hit high on those hands. Clemson's defense, they were sucked in a little bit because they were maybe waiting for that off-speed shot. They just weren't able to grab that off the block.
And system to Young. Beautiful cover by McGrath. Pierce now at the right side. She's rotating positions as well. It's gonna tip just over, but Yoki wins the joust. Jervy gets on their feet on this marathon point. Daly demolishes.
Feel the energy right after that play. This was an all Daly rally. She's playing off blocker. She picks up that tip. She busts out to get out in transition to hit. She's able to put that away. That was a huge point for the Tigers as they go into set point.
4th kill for Daly, and she'll get a breather. Gildon will serve for her. Set point, and a free ball. Young finishes the set, and Clemson fans is whistled in, and Gildon to serve to start the second set. Now Out to Patrick. Beautiful block formed in the second of the afternoon for the Tigers.
Yoki and Young, that's a tough block to swing against. Watch how she's waiting, shifted over a little early. They were able to close that block and press hard over the net.
Mentioned Indigo has a tendency to out-jump her expectations as the serving error gives a side out and a service opportunity for Jasmine Robinson. 14 aces this season from the middle. But a fifth service error. That's the same way Virginia Tech started the first set.
Yes, and you can tell, I think they are still focusing on trying to serve aggressive, keep the Tigers out of system. But at some point, they might need to focus on keeping that ball in.
And now Taylor will serve. She became the second highest dig mark in Clemson history against Louisville last weekend. Oh, good clear out there as Eche Yildiz picks up the dig and McGrath cleans up on that poor pass. Good communication by Virginia Tech. They dueled up there on the overpass.
Yes, that was a great recovery. That was a great dig on the Hokie side. And then in the end, they were still able to find Pierce. Again, she's going to be their go-to player, their go-to hitter. They're going to try to find her when they have a good pass.
Back over to rotation one as Walgren to serve. Hallman handled. Back to McGrath. Patrick with the sharp angle. It's called in right in front of Clemson's bench, and Coach Keir will use the green card.
Wow, that was an incredible angle that she's looking to take there. Seeing it live, I couldn't see that part of the line.
It was ruled out first, as you can see by the line judge, and then he overturns himself.
Yes.
What do you see?
Oh, that's a really tough angle to see. For me, watching it live, I thought it clipped the line. It doesn't look like there's a ton of space in between. I'm curious to see once they zoom in and really slow that down. Obviously, that line judge is going to have the best angle. He's steering right down that line. Game speed is pretty quick, so it's...
Oh, there's a conclusive angle, and
yep.
Suzanne Dodd will hopefully get that sorted out.
Yep, does look like that was out, so. Looks like it's going to be a good challenge for Coach Keir.
That call will be reversed. Clemson retains the challenge.
And Coach Keir points to her bench and says, that one's on you.
Yes, a little ode to the bench. They were also standing right where that line judge is. They've got the best angle. I love that they were able to tell Coach to go ahead and pull out that challenge card.
So as you see, Clemson retains their challenge. 2 apiece as Yoki serves. Great dipping action. Set out to Pierce. Patrick picked up by Yoki. McGrath, a little extra pressure being put on her. There's no doubt Virginia Tech has her circled.
Absolutely, and you know, McGrath, she's got a tough job as an outside hitter. They're gonna get a lot of the quote-unquote junk balls. That ball was out of system, set pretty tight and inside the court. She had a really difficult time, and she's probably looking to terminate that ball.
8 kills, 7 digs last season for McGrath. And are we having another challenge? I believe so.
The original decision was Clemson is challenging a net ball.
So Clemson's coaching staff or bench thought they saw a net violation. How about 2 challenges here in the first 6 points?
Back to back. I think, you know, for Clemson, they're itching to get this win. I think it's important, especially if your players are on the court. They have the best view, especially at the net, whether their opponent was in the net or not. So it'll be interesting to see with this replay what it shows. You know, this is, Daniel, this is such a tough angle for me. I don't see any movement in the net. I don't quite see any arms also hitting the top of that tape.
The original decision is confirmed. Point Virginia Tech.
And there you hear it. Call confirmed, so Clemson loses a challenge, and you have to wonder if that just shows a little bit more of how important this set is to Clemson. They feel like they need every edge they can get.
Absolutely. Every point is important. And also, it just helps with the momentum. We talk about the energy that Clemson came out with, Virginia Tech came out with, but the more they're scoring, that energy is just going to keep rolling into points for the Tigers.
Line drive serve. Dumped over as Sant picks up her second kill.
That's another great reason to have this 5-1 offense. The setter's front row on those tight balls. She is able to take it over on the second contact. She doesn't necessarily have to save that ball or get called for that back row attack. So this is really great option, and I love that she was aggressive enough to go up and take that ball over.
Now, Sant started as a 5-1 setter early in the season, had 5 kills, in fact, against App State. She can be aggressive. Meanwhile, denial by form of Asia Daly.
Daly, she has been incredible this match. Look at that elevation. She's pressing over hard. There was nowhere Malinowski could go on that.
Good serve by McGrath, handled well, punched over to Malinowski. Looking to swipe the block, and Malinowski does. It's a veteran move there up at the hands.
100%. That was a really smart play. She just got stuffed in the previous attack. She saw that the blockers, they were shifted over a little bit. She's able just to get that outside hand of Daly, and that was a great score for her.
Short serve, Sant decides to tip with the left. Malinowski starting to heat up. A beautiful rolling top spin swing hits the back line, and we're tied.
Yes, Malinowski, great spot. Those corner shots are really, really hard to defend. The defense, they're sucked in. They're waiting on a really hard-driven shot, and that deep corner more than likely is going to score every time.
I'm not sure that Raines wanted to touch that. It was tailing long, but a free ball comes. Pierce, without a blocker in the area, hits it long. And this time, Coach Byers is pressured to challenge as the entire Virginia Tech starting lineup wanted a touch.
Yes, and Pierce, again, she's that go-to player. That was a great ball set outside to her. She was really trying to take a rip at it, get some hands on it.
Just one blocker over there, that's Sant.
Yeah, and she is one of the smaller blockers, and it does look like Pierce was trying to take advantage of that.
You can see the right hand flicker back.
Yeah, because you're looking for any kind of your extremities, fingertips moving. You can see right there, it just clipped that fingertip of her outside hand.
That call will be reversed. Point Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech retains their challenge.
That was a great challenge by Coach Byers. She's also thanking her bench.
Yeah.
You know, especially with the challenge rules, usually coaches are looking to players. Like, tell me, should I use it? Can I trust you? Was it something that we need to use to kind of get the momentum back and get that point? And it worked in their advantage.
Clemson down to 1 challenge. Virginia Tech still has both. Slide for Hansen. Duran with a tremendous dig. Over the block goes Malinowski, and that one well in as Virginia Tech goes on a 4-0 run.
Yes, and Malinowski, she's taking advantage of what has scored her team points right there. It's that deep corner shot going to zone 1 and zone 6, and we'll see if the Tigers are able to adjust to that.
Clemson desperate to get out of this rotation, and Hansen will help.
What a nasty swing that Hansen took on that. Again, that front row setter, Sant, drew that middle up. It was an open net for Hansen. She's able to put that ball away. I love seeing the energy for these Tigers right now after that swing.
Remember, both Clemson middles transfers, newcomers here this season. Hansen from Texas Tech, now Indigo Young. The transfer from Charleston Southern is in. Pierce down the line, and that's in. What a swing.
That's a great answer by Pierce. She's she's going to be the heart and soul for the Hokies right now. She's trying to get her team back in this game, and she noticed that Sant was that smaller blocker, and she just turned that ball, nice crossbody swing right down the line.
Getting into a bit of a side-out battle in this second set, as Yildiz with a strong serve out to Daly. This will be a free ball for the Tigers, hoping to pull within one. And Daly pummels it off of the antenna. The score is 9-6 to Vatek.
Yeah, that was a tough swing by Daly. You know, usually on a free ball opportunity, hitters are waiting for this perfect set. She was looking to terminate that ball, but just missed wide and hit that antenna.
Virginia Tech looking to even this match, but Daly tools the block from that left pin again. She looks very smooth on the outside.
She really does, and she seems a little bit even more comfortable on that outside pin. She's not afraid of the block, and she's got a heavy arm. The second she noticed those hitters were pressed, or the blockers were pressed to the outside, she just took advantage of that.
Asia Daly leading the way with 5 kills, tied with Malinowski for the match high. Now a dig from Daly as well. Sant from her knees. This stays up. And blasted in by Robinson. Now the middles are starting to get more engaged, Regina.
They are, and this is going to be really important. We want to establish our middles early on. Both teams do. They weren't even perfect sets, but these middles have such great hang time and length. They're able to make the adjustment and make it work and score the point.
Back to Pierce. 6'3", and that lanky float serve as Yoki is stuffed. 4th block for Virginia Tech. They're looking a lot jumpier in this set.
They really are, and Walgren and Robinson, they put up a nice solid block on that. They were able to close it quick, high hands, press over. It looked like Walgren really got most of that ball.
And Clemson will use a timeout. We will step away as well as Virginia Tech leads by 4.
Really taking advantage of using that middle, especially in Jasmine Robinson. She's long, she's lengthy, she's smart, she's able to transition quickly, and it goes to show she's hitting over 500 right now, and it's really keeping Virginia Tech back in the set.
Well, Young is blocked, and a whistle came anyways. I think she crossed over the midway line with a foot fault as we take a look.
Yes, and even then, Robinson, she's hungry right now. She's waiting, ready to get that ball back down.
Another 3-0 scoring run for the Hokies. And Yoki into the net. You may start to see Clemson cycle in some new arms here in a lopsided set, but plenty of time to come back.
100%. You can tell that volleyball is such a game of runs, and right now the Hokies, they're in a big serving run with Pierce, and it's really proving well for them.
Pierce from the back row, and it's 14-7. And Kier will use another timeout in the same service run.
Yes, Pierce, she's, again, that go-to player. They're going to look for her. She's got the hot hands right now. You can expect the Hokies to keep going to her. And I'd like to see whether or not Clemson Tigers, whether they adjust their defense a little bit more when she's up swinging.
Meanwhile, we talked about Jasmine Robinson, the redshirt junior from Chesapeake, Virginia. You know, only one match this season with 10 or more kills, but she is on her way to another.
Yes, this is a great match for her. And again, she's not even getting set great balls. They're kind of undersetting her a little bit, but she's using that high energy off of every block she makes. She's a smart hitter. She's being very efficient right now. And that's something that the Hokies need to keep this match going on their end.
A look at Robinson's career breakdown as she has gotten better, as you can imagine, with playing time, has to sit behind a slew of talented middles. And then last year they lose Sydney Peterson, Kara Lewis as well. Virginia Tech had a major turnaround. They lost the setter to Texas Tech in Hannah Bohr, but Robinson getting better as the years go on.
Yes, and Robinson, she's kind of like waited in the background, waited her turn, and just like anybody, whenever your number is called, that's your chance to prove to the coach and the team that you deserve to be on the court. And right now, she's done that 100% in today's match.
Virginia Tech doing the same thing that Virginia did, and I mentioned it earlier. Most teams, and I'm sure Virginia Tech is like this, only have 60-second timeouts. Yet here we sit at a minute and a half, and the players have been out there ready for about 20 seconds as Clemson has taken advantage of every moment they can in the huddle.
Absolutely. Anytime you can kind of ice this server, you know, Pierce is back there. She's kind of messing with the ball. It's giving her more of an opportunity, you know, mentally to think about the game. And Coach Keir, she's using every second of that timeout to maybe get in her head a little bit.
Nobody there. Miscommunication on serve receive, and Pierce picks up her second ace tonight.
Yeah, that's a tough serve by Pierce. It was a great up by Clemson, but little confusion whether Indigo Young was going to go up and take that second ball over or whether the setter was going to come in and get that ball.
Now a 6-0 scoring run. Another poor pass. Patrick has to fling it in play. Much needed from Daly over on the right side.
Yes, and this is something that we saw from Daly against Virginia on Friday night. She's a power hitter on both pins, and that right side, she really takes a little more of an angle shot, and I think Virginia Tech, they weren't ready because we've seen her so much today on the outside pin.
Might that be the spark Clemson needed as McGrath moves into the front row? Young hits the line on an inside-out swing.
Great insistent pass right there by the Tigers. You know, they found Indigo Young. She's able to pick a corner. She kept her hips open. She noticed that Robinson was kind of taking away a little bit of that right side of the court. Very smart play.
Way to hold her own there. Walgren on that joust. Helped that she was in the front row. Great recognition by Sant, tipped over by Taylor. Such physicality at the net.
Young and Yoki, they were ready for that ball. You can tell Young had already shifted over, expecting that outside set because the middle wasn't able and ready to run behind the setter, and they just put up such a strong block.
Tigers counter with a 3-0 run as Gildon with a short serve. Wow, what a cover by Sant. And Robinson palms it straight down and is called for the lift.
Those are such tough calls. It's such a judgment call, and you can see the floor captains going over there to talk to the up ref. And it really depends on how long they believe that they actually held the ball in their hand before they made that release on it. It's a really tough call to make.
It really just depends on the referee on a given day. There are some athletes that made a career out of that. Caitlin Horde comes to mind, the All-American, Penn State and Nebraska. Meanwhile, from the left side, Bell-Patrick makes it a moot point and ends the 4-0 run.
What an answer by Bell-Patrick. It looks like Virginia Tech is taking advantage on the Clemson Tigers' backcourt. They're leaving those back corners open, and Virginia Tech is recognizing that and taking the ball there to score the point.
Nine points to go to even up this match for the Hokies. Oh, an athletic set. Nobody on defense expected that from Sant.
Sant, she's so athletic. She's able to shoot that ball against the flow. Virginia Tech tried to adjust, still left some open space, and Yoki's able to put that ball down.
Catherine Sant propelled into the full starting duties. First time since September 12th against App State that Sant employed in this 5-1 offense. Audrey Armbruster took over as the second setter in a 6-2, but it has not worked for Clemson, so Coach Keir goes back to the 5-1.
And I love that Sant seems like she's been ready for this. She's been ready for this, the way she's running the offense, handling her hitters. This is the spot that she's meant to be in, and it's proven well for the Tigers, especially after that first set.
Back to Walgren, who has been a 5-1 setter her entire career, had 1,000 aces last season for Utah. Oh, that's got to be a net violation before McGrath made contact. They're going to call it against McGrath, though. It seemed like both teams were colliding into the net at the same time.
It really did, and especially on that tight set. The Hokies, they were waiting on that overpass. McGrath's trying to do something with the ball to keep it in play. That was a really tough call, but good by Suzanne on down official.
Yeah, bang, bang play. 18-12, and a little help from the tape gets Kate Hansen her 5th kill.
Friendly net roll, Kate Hansen. She's all smiles right there. That hang time is what really helped her, too. Those are such tough balls. You know, she was in there. She was ready for that. Just got some fingertips on it. Thank you to the net for that.
Alongside Regina Poppy, I'm Daniel Gilman here on this Sunday in the ACC as an ace continues the run for Yoki, her 23rd this season.
You know, we were due for a Yoki ace right there. And that's the best one right there. It took the Hokies. They weren't communicating. They literally sat there watching the ball land. And Yoki's fired up right now.
Call that an over-easy Yoki ace. And now out of rotation on defense gives Yoki another point at the service line.
Yeah, it looks like they either released early or they were crossing right before that server made contact with the ball. You can tell, yep, the setter right now, she's making sure that she's going to wait until that ball's being contact.
Within 3. Still a long way to go in this second set as Patrick blasts it. Handled by Yoki. She nearly collides with the up judges. Now Anowski down the line. This will force McGrath into the bench. The point continues. Back to Malinowski. Hansen cross court, and Jervy erupts.
What a rally. You can feel the energy during that point. The saves, Taylor saving that from the bench. Hansen being able to put that ball away. This is the momentum that the Tigers are looking for to stay in this set.
Now there was a tremendous
few games in ACC play have gone, so they both really need this match to continue into this deep run into the ACC season.
4-0 run for Yoki. No icing the Finnish freshman, but that's a big time side out from the freshman on the other side in Belle Patrick.
Belle Patrick, that's a great set by the Hokies. They set her a little bit inside. She's able to take that thumb down and really look for that sharp angle, and that's tough for an off blocker. Usually off blockers, they're going to be waiting for that tip or that off-speed shot, so that's a hard ball to defend.
Patrick will stand and float her serve instead of the risky topspin as Sant is rejected. Hallman read it the whole time.
Hallman was ready for that. As a middle blocker with a 5-1 setter, your first job is to stay with the setter, and she stayed with her. She's able to go up and protect her side of the court.
Gotta have a kill here as McGrath struggling this afternoon. Big block for him though by 23. That'll help. McGrath tips it over.
Smart by McGrath. She stayed at that net. She was ready. And it looked like it also hit, hit right on top of the middle blocker on Hallman's head, and that ball went down pretty fast. Virginia Tech did a good job trying to save it off of her, off of the net.
Now this is an interesting one because, as you can hear from Suzanne Dodd, Virginia Tech may get a break here. They're going to challenge whether Duran kept this ball up And despite the point probably ending after, if this is overturned, there will be a replay of the point. Let's see if this is a pancake.
Yeah, and with pancakes, it's really hard to tell whether the entire ball is going to hit a hand, a forearm, or whether part of it's going to hit the floor. But again, this does give Virginia Tech a little bit of a breather, a little bit of a timeout, regroup.
Yeah, the question is a little bit later in the point. After it touches Hallman, Duran looked to try to pancake. Watch, count the touches after McGrath.
Yeah.
Got 1, 2.
Original decision was called down. Play was good. Previous play will be replayed. Virginia Tech retains their challenge.
Wow, so they're gonna say that the ball was kept up. Suzanne Dodd, not the greatest of explanations there. A little confused are the fans.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a really tricky one. I think for the sake of the game, sometimes replays are really important, and to play this point again. However, you can tell there's still a little bit of confusion by Coach Keir.
Well, it's kind of like in football when the whistle stops a play that might be a touchdown. It doesn't matter. The whistle stopped that play despite it looking like Clemson was going to win the point regardless.
Absolutely.
Now Sant is asking for an over the plane. And Pierce is going to end the rally. What a swing of momentum that point ended up being.
And Pierce being, a 6'3" pin hitter, she was really able to take advantage with Sant on the front row and hit those high hands and, almost went into the stands. That's a hard ball to save.
Out to McGrath. Easy swing. She took some off it and found the high hands.
She did, and that's kind of a little bit of what the Hokies have been doing right now to score their point. So very smart veteran play. Again, she's in there for 6 rotations for the Tigers. Great use of using those hands. (21-17). Virginia Tech has won 1 set in conference play this season. Looking for a second. Tremendous dig by the freshman. That's a 4-to-4 contact to remember for Daly. Daly came to play this afternoon. She took that inside step into the ball, looked for that angle. She's so quick at transitioning and has such a power swing. That's a great angle.
Off the tape, within 3. Malinowski brings it back to 4 on her 6th kill.
Yeah, Daly, she was facing a little bit outside of the court instead of pressing those hands back in. It was almost an easy tool for the Hokies. They took advantage of her body positioning.
So Leandra Mangual Duran out of Puerto Rico. Vocal leader on this team, trying to propel the Hokies to even this match. 10th dig from Duran. Another one from Daly. 8 kills here in the first 2 sets from Asia.
And that time Daly was able to get some hands, able to tool that block. She's got a big swing. Again, she's got a heavy arm. And no, that was a great set block by the Hokies, but Daly was just able to take advantage of how much power she has.
Over to Luma. Awkward swing by Malinowski, and Clemson gets to 20. Virginia Tech's serve receive has gotten so much better, hasn't it? It's been visible.
It really has, and you can tell they're communicating a little bit more. They're staying a little bit patient, not as spastic in their passes, and it's really helped them in this set.
Within 2 points, as the freshman from Wisconsin again targets Cates. Robinson breezes it by. A beautiful swing from the middle.
And, there's a good reason we highlighted Robinson at the beginning of this set. She really has become a force. Even as the Tigers' middle is set up, she's still able to cut around and hit that deep corner for a nice, easy point for the Hokies.
Virginia Tech out-hitting Clemson by almost 100 points this set. Can they finish the job? Cates again. A reaction dig, back out to Daly. She's blocked by Wahlgren.
Wow, Wahlgren, it was all Wahlgren in that solo block. And again, they were more than likely going to expect the Tigers to go to Daly, and she was ready and waiting.
4 set points to even us into the intermission. Great movement by Young to go behind and then in front.
Yes, and that's a great set by Sant. And I love watching these middles battle it out. Sant caught Robinson cheating to the outside again, expecting to go to Daly, and she's able to dish it right back to Young.
Clemson needs an all-time service run from Sant. Pierce punches it off the antenna. They're gonna rule it Virginia Tech point. And it will stand into the break. No challenge there as Virginia Tech takes the second, 25-21. We will step away and head to the third set. And meanwhile, off the bench comes Layla Sara Hadjilajapovic with the kill.
Hadjilajapovic, I was waiting to say this name today. And what a firecracker she has been. And this is great energy, great momentum for the Tigers in this opening point.
The freshman out of Reykjavik Iceland, made her debut last week. Was a standout against Notre Dame with 15 kills, and she'll get the start as a smooth swing from the front row, and Jasmine Robinson evens us up.
And you better believe the Hokies are going to look for Robinson, especially in an in-system pass. She had a fire second set, and it looks like she's going to do the same in the third.
Taking her time back at the service line. Ella Guilfoy sends it long. Virginia Tech goes very deep into their lineup. Eche Yildiz, who hasn't played in a few weeks, she's out there starting in this third set. Guilfoy we have not seen yet today with the serve there. A lot of depth. What does that bring on the other side for Clemson to have to adjust?
You know, for Clemson, they may not have seen this in their scouting report, and they're going to have to make some in-game adjustments. It's really going to prove how great of a coaching staff and how well their team is able to listen and make those adjustments.
Termination by Patrick, and the line judge got the business end of that deflection. Take a look at this.
Yeah, that was great movement by the line judge there, because Patrick, she is going for that deep corner, and it's been working for her, and you can expect her to keep taking those swings. I would not want to be a line judge over there in that corner when Patrick is swinging.
Certainly not in the ACC. No matter what team you're going to be reffing, there will be 1 or 2 firecracker arms around this top conference in volleyball, a conference that has expanded to now 18 teams, and the projections put the tournament teams at somewhere in the 9 to 11 range. That's how strong the ACC has been this season out of the field of 64. Layla off of the antenna, and Virginia Tech able to jump ahead 3-2.
It was a great set out to Hadjilajapovic, but she was really trying to put a little too much on the ball. You can tell she's trying to take it line, got that antenna instead, but we can still expect them to go back to her.
Off of the antenna and back. Meanwhile, Virginia Tech only committed 1 service error in that second set. They were able to right the ship, and there's no coincidence it led to a strong set win.
Yes, I was curious to see how aggressive they would be in their serving. I still think they were very aggressive. I think that they were just a little more cautious during those certain times, whether to be aggressive or whether to keep the ball in play.
Meanwhile, might have been a question of whether Daly would play left side in this set. She will, although rotating around as the technical right side hitter. Here she is from the left. Clemson employing a triple left side attack. You don't see it often.
You don't, and right on cue, you just spoke about Daly, and she just sent a bomb over on Virginia Tech's side. She's so long, she takes a great approach. She's not afraid to keep her hips open to the setter and really swing into that ball.
Meanwhile, talk about versatility. We had Connor as our producer on Friday. Now he's the cameraman picking up that swing from Asia as Virginia Tech sides out on the first ball.
Yes, and that's a great swing right there, especially coming out of the middle. Again, it's going to be really important for the Tigers to stay true to their defense, wait on the middle.
And an ace for Patrick, who changes her rhythm from the topspin aggressive to the float, and it works out.
Yeah, and that's hard to adjust to, especially if you're waiting for that top spin. You're waiting to dig into that ball, and she goes nice standing float. Got a lot of movement on it.
Well predicted on that Hansen slide. Kate Hansen, 6 kills without an error. Holy cow, a gunshot off the right arm of Asia Daly.
Yes, and let's talk about Sant for a second. That was a great decision from her. She just set the slide to Hansen, so it pushed that middle blocker for the Hokies over to that right side of the court. And then that next ball, she dished it back out to Daly, and Daly's able to put it away.
With the pink ribbons on this Dig Pink Sunday afternoon, as the freshman in Luma will serve. Wow, Malinowski puts a hole in the Terraflex, and we are going back and forth. First ball side outs. A little bit more on the men's game, you see it, but here we see smooth offense.
Yes, both teams, they're battling it out. I love that swing by Malinowski. And, you know, we probably haven't given so much credit to the bros today, the Libros. They've been passing so well out of serve receive, and it's really helped with their offense.
It's a great point. Now, their numbers aren't quite there. Just 8 digs from Taylor, 10 from Duran. But the offense has stepped up this set. Both teams hitting up over 400 as Malinowski extends the lead.
Yes, Malinowski again. I love that both teams are really utilizing their right side. With both middles, they're really struggling to get out and close that block, and it's leaving a big gap, and the hitters are taking advantage.
Into the net. The score 7-6. Short serve from Sant. Virginia Tech will take that gleefully as the lead pushes back to 2.
I think both teams are really looking to stay aggressive in their serves. They're looking to keep both sides on their toes, and I love that because it's really important, especially when you're trying to go out and win this third set.
Tight pass up to the net. Daly comes out of nowhere.
I mean, Daly, come on. What a swing. You know, I noticed whenever she's in that last rotation before she heads out to the bench, she puts away a bomb every time. The Hokies, they were not ready for her coming out of that right backside.
There's 10 kills from Daly, and maybe a little bit too strong of a celebration
Had to catch
by
her breath a
Ava
little bit.
Hewitt. Ooh, a little too strong. Nearly had the dig kill that all broadcasters hope for at the volleyball level, but Taylor a little too much on that one. Here inside the newly renovated Jervey Gym. So happy that you're with us as a block formed against Hadji Lajapovic out on that right pin, and that's Walgren.
Yeah, the Hokies, they were waiting for that, especially, you know, the pass was a little bit off the net. The easier set was to go to the outside. She tried to tool it. She's got some good power, but fortunately weren't able to pick that ball back up.
Hokies looking to extend their lead. Off the shoulder and down, and Yoki has been hot from the service line. That's just her 4th kill, though.
Yeah, Yoki's been a little bit quiet today. I think Clemson, they've really used their middles a lot, especially in Hansen with this 5-1 now running the slide. I think they'll look to find Yoki a little bit more because the Hokies defense is shifting over on that right side attack. So I expect to see her get set a little bit more here.
Blasted long from Patrick.
You know, she is a little bit undersized and an outside. You know, she's only 6'1", but she's looking for those high hands, trying to hit that deep corner shot.
That was well telegraphed. Called down on the Walgren kill.
Great heads-up play right there. And Clemson, they were ready for that ball. Couldn't quite get under for that pancake. You could see, yeah, Taylor was really looking to keep that ball in play, but just couldn't quite get all of her hand under it.
That Sant will go up and over as a back row setter, and she is called for the infraction. 12-9, and Clemson for the third straight set. And we'll kind of get into this. Clemson will use the timeout right before the media break. And
you know, it wasn't bad in the second set. I don't expect her to make any changes quite yet. Great use of a timeout right there to get that side out back and hopefully carry this momentum. Got a great server heading back in Yoki. It's a really great lineup for the Tigers. I can expect them to just be more aggressive right here.
Down by 2. Best server at the line. Certainly an opportunity for the Tigers. Layla Sara Hadjiladjapovic with the kill.
There's a spark from that hitter right there. She brought it in the Notre Dame game. She also brought it with Virginia. And this is what the Tiger needs. She was able to find that seam and hit that deep line shot.
23 aces this season for Yoki. Good for 9th in the ACC. How about you add another 24 for the freshman and we're tied.
Right on cue, Daniel. And that ball had a ton of movement. I don't think Pierce was quite ready for that.
Talking to Coach Keir, she mentioned it's the high point of contact that really deceives the defense. Tremendous pass by Pierce and jammed off the block by Patrick. Just a freshman making that kind of decision.
Yeah, that's a great volleyball IQ from Patrick right there. You know, Clemson's been putting up a really strong block. She's able to notice there's just a little bit of daylight out there outside of that off blocker's hands, and she's able to take advantage.
So back to rotation 1, and the junior from Ontario, Canada, Walgren. Strong serve. A little bit too much from Hansen, and that's her first attack error here today.
Yeah, it looks like Sant was trying to set her a little quicker ball on the right side on that slide. She wasn't quite ready, didn't really get a chance to really drive that left foot in the air to get some power and get on top of it.
Laser beam serve, joust handled by Sant. Again, it's Patrick. She now has 9 kills to lead all Hokies.
Yes, Patrick, she's looking for that outside blocker's hands. The Tigers have got a little mixed up there, so Sant had to stay in the middle on that block, and they had to pull over. So that was a little difficult for them as far as communication went.
We've got a really fun one here this afternoon. You could throw the records out the door. Volleyball, always highly competitive, and Virginia Tech's blocking has come to play.
Yes, I love it. She said, not today. Malinowski, she got up on that, and it was all her on that block.
Hansen just misses on the slide, and the wheels starting to wobble as Clemson will use their final timeout.
Yeah, Hansen, she was trying to go for doing right here today.
One thing I've been impressed with, too, is seeing the adjustment to go from that aggressive topspin serve to the standing float, and she picked up an ace.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something that, you know, doing a topspin serve takes a lot of energy out of you. So sometimes I love that they're just doing a nice standing float, still get some pace on the ball, able to take a little breather back there.
Meanwhile, Walgren with the aggressive line drive serve to end the 5-0 run.
Another great timeout for the Tigers. Really important for them to get some more momentum so they can make a couple more runs in this set.
There, her fourth. Need a kill? Go to Patrick, that's her 10th.
Patrick, she elevates so well. She was able to get right on top of that block. Look how quickly she's transitioning out. She's reaching high. She didn't even put a ton of pace on the ball, but she's just really smart and aware.
Flung out to Daly. Big pickup by Duran. That certainly would have hit the ceiling last year.
Oh, 100%.
That is long from Patrick, and Clemson climbs back within 4. Still plenty of playing time left in this set.
Absolutely, and great heads up by Hansen right there. She hadn't been swinging well behind the setter. She did a little tip shot. It did take the Hokies out of their offense. They were able to get a back row attack swing out of Patrick. So I think that was a great heads up, and it gives Clemson another opportunity right here.
Claire Luma, 8 aces this year. Forces Duran to back up. And Luma will pick up the dig, her second. And that was trapped down there by Luma, called a lift, as Daly's tip does not work out.
Another tough judgment call right there. I love what Daly was trying to do with that little off-speed shot. Hokies block, they were ready for that. Clemson weren't able to keep the ball in play.
Gotta have it here if you're Clemson. And Indigo Young, 5 kills now for the senior.
Yes, and for the Tigers, if you're looking for a point on a great pass right on top of the setter's head, look for a middle. The middles have been outstanding. They've got the length, they've got the power, and they've been able to put the ball away on those perfect passes.
Sant has had a tough one at the service line. An ace, but a couple service errors have plagued her. And Virginia Tech within 5.
I think she was hoping to get a little help from the net on that one. Didn't quite make it. But I still love that they're staying aggressive back there behind the service line.
Regina, do players ever aim for the top of the net?
You know, they do. We would play against a few teams, and they would practice that in practice, trying to get the lip of the net, because those balls are almost impossible to pass. You can't judge how they're going to roll off the net, how they're going to fall off the net. So those are tough, but higher.
As good of an ace from Yildiz on the overpass there. Out of system to Daly. Great cover by McGrath. And it scrambles for the dig kill, and the celebration tells the story.
Look at that energy. Sorry, Daniel.
Oh, gotta give due. We take another look. It's Sierra Cates and her first kill.
Wow, I love it. There's nothing like a free ball kill either. You know, something about it.
Begging for a touch, none is called. The question is it worth your last challenge? Down 23-15, Coach Keir says no, as Virginia Tech celebrates 2 points from the set.
Yeah, that's really tough to make that decision, especially sometimes the replay camera doesn't really show, especially those micro touches. So
that serve just long, and Clemson within kind of striking distance, needing a few more points here as Yildiz goes on a nice run.
Yes, and hopefully that side out right there can kind of re-energize this Tiger squad to stay in the set, because it's definitely not over.
Tight to the middle, Robinson nearly falls. Clemson scrambling on defense. That is right down the line by Robinson, her 8th termination.
Yes, and that's a great set by the Hokies. They found Robinson behind on a little nice 7 ball behind her. She was able to swing right down the line. There wasn't a defender in sight. And I love how excited she's getting in this match. She's been great for this Hokie squad.
8 set points to take a 2-1 lead. And Young is able to stave off one of them.
Yeah, little battle of the middle hitters right there. I think that's the second time the middle went back-to-back kills on both sides. I'd love to see it. Young is so bouncy, nice little 3 ball. She's able to hit right outside of Robinson's hands.
So Young cycles out, in comes Hansen, down by 7 here late. Patrick's swing is long, but Virginia Tech has plenty more spool left in the yarn.
Yes, definitely. And you're going to see them go to Patrick a little bit more. I know that was, a hitting error by her, but she's been pretty efficient right now. And I think on a good pass, you're going to see her a little bit more in Robinson.
The Hokies with a chance to end the set. Not quite yet. 24-19, and Coach Byers, with both timeouts, will hold on to them.
Yeah, the Hokies, they were looking to go back row to Pierce out of that back row attack, maybe take Clemson's defense off a little bit, just right into the net. So it just gives the Tigers another opportunity right here.
And Robinson closes the set with an exclamation point. Virginia Tech storms back after dropping the first.
Opportunity to score, and I'm curious to see how aggressive these Tigers are going to be on their serves.
McGrath will serve, and it is at the bottom of the net. A bit of an analogy on how this match has turned as the Tigers will look to scrape out of it.
And it really has been a serve and pass match for both teams. And I think right now it's just going to be who's going to be low error and high passing percentage.
Well, one player that has stayed hot all day is Asia Daly. 12 kills now to go with 4 digs.
Yes, Daly's been hot, hot, hot for the Tigers. Again, I love seeing her on this outside pin. She's quick in transition. She's able to hit the high hands, has good power when she needs to use it.
Daly's first match as a left side hitter. Spent most of the season out on the right side, but she's a little late on that dump kill for Walgren. She has been aggressive, her second termination.
She has, and I love that. That's a good heads-up play, especially because the blockers were a little bit off the net, so she's able to go up. Even though the blockers went up with her, she's able to find that little bit of daylight on the net and score that point.
Now she'll serve just wide. Virginia Tech begging for a touch, and the most vocal player on the team, Duran, is asking her coach to grab the green card, and Marcy Byers will oblige. A challenge here as we take our first look.
Yeah, Coach Byers is going to back up her team right there, waiting for the challenge.
Question is whether the freshman Addie Raines got a piece of this ball.
So really, a lot of times when I'm looking for whether a player has passed the ball, I'm looking at the spin of the ball, the rotation of the ball. Did it change? Did it touch a part of her body and spin in opposite direction? And right now, just from this replay, it doesn't quite look like it, and also doesn't seem like there could be enough evidence to overturn it.
And now Coach Byers is 2 for 2 in challenges, so if she loses this one, she'll still have one more in this set.
Original foul down. That play will be reversed. Virginia Tech retains their challenge.
How about a 3-0 challenge mark here today for Byers?
She stood behind her players, pulled that challenge card out. I love it. She has the trust in her players, because that's such a hard ball to see and overturn and look at. But Suzanne's doing a great job with the replay system, and it's been really fun to watch here.
So 2 challenges left. You'll get another one if you have less than 2 if we go 5. So that'll apply to the Tigers as the service error sides out and brings in Yoki as Sant will serve. Out to Patrick. Tooling the block. 11 kills now for Belle Patrick, her 8th this season in double figures.
Patrick's having an outstanding match today. She is just quick arm speed. She's ready to terminate that ball, not afraid of that block.
Malinowski picked up though by McGrath, and a slide for Daly. She can play left side, right side, or middle, Asia Daly.
She can do it all. If you need a point, find Daly. Right now, she's running really strong. You can see how much she elevated off that left foot to get that slide. She was able to turn that sharp corner, and that's the swing that she's looking to take every time she's on that right side pin.
Out of system, and a free ball comes from Cates, who already has a kill today from the back row. Not sure Young wanted it that low. She had to punch it, and Virginia Tech leads by 2.
Yeah, that's a really tough set to try to adjust to. It's really hard for the shorter hitters, and not that she's even short at 6 feet tall, but it's really hard for them. You know, you're afraid you're going to overset them, but she elevates so high. She needs that higher set out of the middle.
Perfect ball to Sant. Young punches one into a net violation to get the kill for Indigo, her 7th.
That's a much better set right there from Sant to Young. I think she could still get her a little bit higher because you really want Young to get on top of that ball and put it away like she did in the previous set.
Meanwhile, Hansen and Young, 2nd and 3rd on the team in kills. Hansen comes in. Malinowski right down the seam. She has been so efficient hitting over 360.
She has, and Malinowski, you know, she's hitting mostly on the left side, but because in this specific rotation, she's taking that one swing right side, I think she's almost scored in every set she's gotten in the serve-receive rotation.
It's a tremendous observation as this serve never stood a chance. Hadji Lajapovic had to get out of the way as Clemson pulls within 1. Just when we thought that Hadji Lajapovic wouldn't get into this match from a phonetics standpoint.
We thank you for that.
The explosive freshman files in as Yoki misses long.
We're still seeing from both teams that they're serving aggressive. The defense and serve receive, they're doing a great job watching the ball. You can hear the bench helping their team call the ball in or out, and I love to see that. I love to see communication on both sides.
Good ball by Luma. Out to Layla, and she tools the block.
Hadji Lajapovic, smart play. She knew that the ball was set too low. She wasn't going to be able to take a good rip at it. She was smart, played right into the hands to tool the block. Very high volleyball IQ coming from her today.
And Clemson's at the point where you're just counting rotations until Daly gets back in, and she has filed back into the front row, the hottest hitter on the team. As Patrick off a touch.
Nice, and Patrick's done that so much in this match. She's really been able to find those high hands on the Tigers. And, you know, even though they're not obvious touches, they are these micro touches. And because they're so deep in the court, the defense isn't ready to play those balls back up.
Slide for Hansen. Handled by Patrick on the double touch. That's a better set. The hands were there against Daly. Hokies are playing very consistent right now on defense. Oh, always tough to ask the middle to set as Clemson survives the scrappy point.
Oh, yeah. I was almost hoping she would use her hands, especially with
no
this
doubles
new
now.
rule.
Yeah, you're right.
I feel like usually middles, they love to set. They love to set. And usually back before the new rule happened, you were like, no, middles, don't set, don't set. But now I feel like, hey, you can be free. Just take that ball with your hands. A little more control.
That's a great point, Regina. Remember, no double contact calls on passes that stay on your side here this season. Daly with a head of steam. That nearly got to the top row.
You know, I would love to see the speed on that ball. Do we have a speed gun right now? Because the way she powers through that ball is incredible. I would probably back away from the pass. So I'm impressed at Virginia Tech. They've done a great job getting some hands on her balls.
Well, our producer, Easton Smith, says we do not. What would be your best guess on that one? 60, 70 miles an hour?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, she's really gunning through it.
Here's another look. Off speed with a roll shot. And Hallman takes a little off for her first kill.
Yes, that's, you know, the longer the rally, you know, both sides beating the ball back and forth. Sometimes you take a little speed off the ball, it's going to be an easier point to score. So that was a great heads-up play by her. You know, and she hasn't really, like, done a ton in this game as far as kills go, but she's been pretty steady for the Hokies.
Blast off from Daly. We may be down to just Daly versus Patrick. Let everyone else sit aside.
You know, it's a Daly show right now. She is, like I said before, she's so quick in transition. She's always ready to hit. And I could see her telling the setter, set me every time. She's ready.
Oh, and an ace as Malinowski gets in the way accidentally, and Clemson from nowhere comes back to take the lead.
Yes, you can tell Malinowski, she's kind of running into the middle of the court. She was probably going to run something out of the middle or behind the setter and just got in the way of that pass. It's so unfortunate for the Hokies.
Great scramble by Sant. Free ball comes from McGrath. 10-9 Clemson trying to force a fifth as Hallman misses wide, and it's 11-9.
You know, Hallman, she was trying to get after that corner. It was wide open. She just missed. I love that they're going to the middle in transition, though, because it will eventually take the Tigers out of their defense a little bit more.
Patrick picked up by McGrath, but it's out of system to Daly. So tough to time that up as Asia gets a touch.
Out of system sets are so hard to terminate, but look at Daly. She gets back. She's going to wait, and still power through the ball, get the high hands. Great point for the Tigers.
We step away as Virginia Tech uses a timeout here in the fourth.
Assistant, they're able to get the ball to their setter, and they found the hot hitter in Daly.
Sant on a 4-row service run. Taylor's 10th dig. She's been a bit quiet as Daly is finally stopped on the block formed by Hallman and Malinowski.
And that was a great block by Hallman and Malinowski. You can tell they were waiting for Clemson to set Daly.
And now Yoki looks for a touch and misses wide. So 2024 season as Clemson struggles. Byers, you know, she made contact with that before it landed. There's no call on it. I always wonder what would happen if a coach grabs a ball like that before it falls.
Right, and sometimes you see coaches when they know it's out, or they might just pass it and play it, which I think is fun, but sometimes, I don't know, might be a little too close for comfort.
Oh, and now Clemson gives one away on a poor set. Yoki goes into the net on the overpass swing. And an ace off the tape. Virginia Tech on a 5-0 run, seemingly from nowhere as the Hokies are gonna rush. This is like a no-huddle offense now for Patrick.
Yes, and you know, you see teams do this sometimes. When they're on a roll, they're looking for that momentum. They're gonna speed serve and try to take the opponents off their rhythm.
And they will catch Clemson sleeping. An out-of-rotation penalty on the Tigers' lead.
Get a good pass to their setter, probably look for Daly, put it away, and get this side out.
Needing a spark. It's Daly in the middle off a triple block. And Malinowski tools the block. Yoki blocks it, but just out of bounds. And Byers is fired up on the Vatek sideline. And now, again, the no-huddle offense.
Yeah, they're ready. They're scrambling back there. They're going to keep trying to take Clemson out of system.
And it works. I have not seen anything like this in the volleyball world. Virginia Tech ready again to serve quickly on an 8-0 run. Yoki finally gets to breathe on a side out as Clemson well within striking distance.
Yes, the Tigers needed that big kill right there from Yoki. The middle, she was a little late getting over. Yoki took advantage, swung in that deep corner, and that's usually her shot to take.
Out of system to Pierce. Primetime opportunity for Sant as she finds McGrath. Mia McGrath has had a nightmare match. 4 kills, 7 errors, but that was a massive one.
Yes, you know, she hasn't had the best hitting match today, but she is going to be kind of that consistent player for the Tigers. I love that they went to her on that. She kept the ball in play.
And now an ace on a gift. The serve looked long. Asia Daly rarely serves and picks up her first ace of the season.
Huge momentum shift right here for the Tigers. The crowd's getting amped up because I think they get a free t-shirt for every ace, so they're excited.
Meanwhile, the Tigers using Daly, and she is dangerous from the service line.
She's on fire, and here comes another t-shirt to a lucky fan. She has had an amazing match all around. You can see it's taking Virginia Tech right out of their defense.
Yoki off 1 foot. She stuffed a solo block for Pierce and Vatek's 12th.
What a great block right there. She had Yoki's number on that. She shifted over with her, knew that she was going to run that slide approach a little bit, able to press over and put that ball right back down.
Service error number 14 for the Hokies, and Clemson back within 1. This has been an exciting set, an exciting match, and we're so pleased that you've chosen to join us here on this Sunday afternoon. "12 blocks for Virginia Tech. It's the 3rd most they've had in a match this season. Most in conference play. Straight down from Sarah Malinowski for her 11th kill.
Great swing by Malinowski. Again, in this serve-receive rotation, they are setting her every single time, and she's able to get that kill. I love when hitters are able to swing on both pins and be comfortable, especially out of serve-receive, and she's really proven that.
Ties a career high for Malinowski. Hansen, wisely.
Yes, great. I love that the Tigers are looking to keep their middles back in the play. They're establishing them, and the middles have done great so far. You know, Robinson's been a little quiet this set, so I love that Hansen's kind of challenging her a little bit.
7 kills for both Young and Hansen in the middle. Clemson's going to need more production from them. Pierce over the block, and Virginia Tech is siding out with ease now, willing to trade points.
They really are, and you know, a lot of that's coming with being really confident in their serve-receive passes. They're able to get that ball to the setter. The setters are making
right at the 2-hour mark. Five points from the match. Hansen says not yet.
wow. Hansen with the bullet on that. They drew up that middle hitter in Robinson, and Hansen was able to put it away.
Daly back in the front row. Another ace for the Tigers, their 3rd this set, and we are tied.
Tigers are not backing down this afternoon. They're getting the crowd involved a little bit. These aces are something that they need to keep the momentum shift going.
It's a race to 5 now. Both teams scrambling. Big pickup by Yildiz. What a smart cut by Patrick, her 13th.
Yes, I tell you what, Patrick is not playing like a freshman this match. She took a little bit of speed off on that ball. Again, I think she's recognizing that you've got that front row setter. This is a shorter blocker, able to take that ball line.
In system out to Daly. She's blocked. The biggest one today for Vatek.
Wow, and I think they were waiting on the ball to go to Daly. They need that spark on the Tigers side. Look how high they're pressing over, and that was all Walgren right there.
But Robinson's serve goes into the net. Virginia Tech has given away 15 points today at the service line.
When you break it down, that's a lot of points. Credit to Virginia Tech. They're staying with their game plan of being aggressive serving, but that's a lot of points right there they're giving up on unforced errors.
Can Clemson force the 5th? Walgren takes over.
Smart play by Walgren. That ball was tight. She could have had the opportunity to save it and set it to middle or an outside, but she went up, able to take Clemson off their defense, waiting on their heels.
Virginia Tech 2 points away from a monumental first conference win. Patrick. Great pickup by the freshman Rains. Daly on repeat.
Daly, she powerhouse through that, but what a dig. What a dig by the freshman Rains. They adjusted a little bit. They're really covering that line shot, able to give Daly that nice set on the outside. She's able to put it away for the Tigers.
Rotation 1 for Clemson. Yoki in the front row with Daly. Walgren goes out to Patrick. Reliable freshman will give Virginia Tech match points.
And Patrick, she's able to swing that deep zone 5 corner. That's what she's looking to do. Look how much she elevates and is able to really get up and over that block.
Where will Sant go? Who else but Daly? Match on her hands. An opportunity again to keep it going. Great pickup, out of system now. Daly misses. Virginia Tech on the road picks up their first conference win of the season.